Welcome to Quick Moba. So you want to transform into a cool armored knight to slay your enemies stylishly or block attacks with ease? Then Kaiser is the man for you. Kaiser is a very powerful fighter who thrives in teamfights, either as an immortal tank or a high damaging assassin. I will cover both playstyles in the video, so stay tuned. Kaiser is a versatile yet beginner friendly fighter who has an innate sustain and stat buffs. He has AoE knockup and he is a good chaser and duelist. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a reliable way to dash through walls. He is very kiteable by enemies with dashes. His ult has a very long cooldown and he's kind of fragile without his ult. For his abilities, Demon Soul is his passive and it makes his skill 1 and 2 hit 50% harder on solo targets. This makes him a good duelist and deadly assassin to isolated marksmen. However, it's not that good of a passive when you're in teamfights and the enemies are always grouped together. His skill 1 is Vortex Brand. Basically, you just throw a very nifty boomerang at your enemy. It is an extremely useful skill that is overloaded with effects. It is your main chasing tool and range poke. The reason why I said it's overloaded is because it slows your enemy on hit by 80%. When it returns to you, it gives you so many benefits. It heals you based on your extra health, increases your movement speed and attack speed by 15%, all the way to 30% for 3 seconds. It even reduces its own cooldown by 30% when it returns to you. Tell me that's not overloaded right there. When engaging a running enemy, you can use this skill to steal their movement speed and get right into their face. However, if the enemy isn't running away yet, it may be more useful to just engage with your skill 2 and save this skill for after they use their dash. After ganking, you might be low on health, just use this skill on minions and jungle creeps whenever you want to heal back up. His skill 2 is Blade Tempest. He slashes twice in a direction and the second slash knocks enemies up for 1 second. This is your bread and butter, which can knock up a whole group together when clumped. The cooldown itself is quite low, so it is an easily spammable mini dash attack. However, one thing to note, he only dashes past walls only if there's an enemy right on the other side. Otherwise, he's just going to be dashing into a wall like an idiot. One thing most people don't know is that this skill gives you passive recovery and movement speed outside of combat. Lastly, his ultimate, Invincible Warrior. Equipping your awesome armor instantly boosts your coolness factor in addition to other magic things. After 1 second delay, he deals magical damage to nearby enemies and if you build tanky, it almost literally makes you an immortal warrior who can tank 1v5 for 8 seconds. It gives you higher max health, 50 movement speed, and extra stats like significant physical attack and massive damage reduction. There are 3 times you should use your ult. First, when entering a team fight, the enemy is committed in, not one where they will run away as soon as they see your face. Second, when you need the movement speed boost to chase an enemy and get in range to throw your movement stealing boomerang. Last one, when you just want to look at how gorgeous he looks like with his ult on. It is very important for you to keep track of the duration of his ult because otherwise you will melt during teamfights. Know when to get in and get out. Please don't 1v5 being overly confident in his ult. His ult doesn't make him CC immune. He still needs to move to do anything and if you build him as an assassin, don't rely too much on your ultimate to survive because late game, you will still melt quickly, so you need to position yourself very well to go in. Send the enemy damage dealer to the Shadow Realm and get out. For leveling priority, always upgrade your ult whenever possible. Then your boomerang. Lastly, your Blade Tempest. The reason you max out your boomerang first instead of Blade Tempest is because it will reduce the cooldown by a lot and increases the amount of stats you get when the boomerang returns to you. Obviously, since Kaiser is going jungling, he's going to need Smite. Don't go smiteless or you will lose out on objectives easily. If you're going to the Clash lane, bring Flash, since it helps him overcome one of his greatest weakness, walls. If you like the content so far, do give a like and subscribe. Instead of going over the combos, which are very basic, we are going straight to the items. There are two paths we can go with, the assassin or the tank. Assassin can easily wipe out immobile teams with low CC thanks to his high damage with Alt 1-2 basic attack combo. However, going assassin is harder than going tank since he has a much lower margin of error. If you make a mistake as assassin, he will die faster than you expect, especially late game. We will go through both paths for both clash and jungling route. Let's start with jungling. For assassin, you want to go Boots of Tranquility unless they have lots of CC. In that case, go for resistance. Get the red jungling item for the movement speed, attack boost, and cooldown reduction. Then, Axe of Torment for making squishies easy work. Now is when some of the enemies have started to get their items and can kill you quickly. So you can opt for Caress of Savagery for some damage plus tankiness, or if you're really ahead, you can get the Master Sword first, then the Caress. The Master Sword will make you delete squishies. Lastly, get Pure Sky to complete your build. Of course, when you have the gold to spare, get some resurrection items. For Katang, same as before, use Tranquility unless they are full of CCs. Go for purple jungling item, then get Blazing Cape for that sweet anti-heal burn. Ominous Premonition for stronger defense against physical attackers, and Long Night Guardian against mages. You can top it off with Frostcar's Embrace for even more slows or Blood Rage for more damage and survivability. Let's say they have 3 or more magic damage. Then you can opt for Eye of the Phoenix to increase your survivability by a bunch and become truly immortal. They will probably call out for nerf. For Clash, the items shouldn't be too different. Assassin should go Boots of Tranquility or Fortitude against physical heavy teams, or Resistance against heavy CC teams. Remember, you can always switch your boots for free to Resistance once you enter CC heavy teamfights. Then go for Axe of Torment for your first power spike. Follow it with Master Sword and then Eternity Blade for crazy burst damage. Although going Glass Cannon build is possible with Siege Breaker for easy insta-kills and Starbreaker for eliminating pesky tanks, I recommend adding some survivability with Blazing Cape versus healers or Long Night Guardians again, multiple mages. Succubus Cloak versus Burst mages like Angela, or Eye of the Phoenix versus sustained damagers like Heino and Zhao Yu. For Clash Katang, boots options are the same. Then go for Blazing Cape, Ominous Premonition, Keras of Savagery, Long Night Guardian, and Overlord's Plate Mail. For Assassin Arcana, go for Red Calamity, Blue Biscar, and Green Eagle Eye. For Katang, go for Red Fate, Blue Hunt for chasing ability, and Green Void for cooldown reduction and health. For Clash Lane, it depends on your opponent whether you can bully them early or you have to play it safe. For example, against Lee Sin, you can play aggressively, but against someone like Byron who has a strong early game, just focus on farming. You can survive easily thanks to your trusty blood sucking boomerang. Once you get to level 4, you should be able to win against any enemy in a confrontation so long as you use your ultimate correctly. Look out for gangs, and once the teleporter is up, you should push and use it at opportune time. If your jungler wants to take objective, push the minions and go help them. Or the least you can do is keep the enemy laner occupied. You work best when in a team, so start roaming in the mid game and help the team. As for jungling, start red, then chicken, then pigs. However, sometimes you might net a kill when the mid roam overextends to try to take your jungle camp. Or you can even gank the close lane if you think you can net a kill. If there's no ganking opportunity, try to reach level 4 as fast as you can. Remember, jungle camps don't give you enough gold to carry, so you need to gank. Early on, you can even tank 2 turret shots with your armor on, but try to gank from the flank. Positioning is key in any gang, and it is especially true for Kaiser since he doesn't have a reliable way to get past walls. Depending on your choice whether to be an assassin or a tank, it affects your way of playing. As an assassin, your role is to get yourself fed and get your items. Focus on ganking whenever possible, but don't forget your jungle camps. You want as much gold and EXP as possible. As a tank, you want your laner to be fed, so when possible, leave the killing to your carries. The more gold they have, the easier it will be to carry you. Focus on peeling for your fed carries so they can do their job in peace. For objectives, I recommend getting the Tyrant first. Hence, when you get to the mid game, focus on getting Overlord so you can push easier and break turrets. Try to always stick with your team as Kaiser isn't really the best turret breaker for split pushing. If this video helped, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe for more. Let me know in the comments what else you want to see. I'll see you in the next one.